welcome to the impressions video of the week. Up this time is Ex-Zodiac, a fast-paced, low-poly 3D rail shooter heavily inspired by classics of the early 90s. Join protagonist Q as she fights to free the world of the Sanzaru star system, overrun by the intergalactic terrorist organization known as Zodiac. So, presumably, the title is a reference to her affiliation to this group, i.e., an ex-Zodiac.
I was gonna say,
That's
is
just
her
to get
last name B to make that just hammer home real bad what this wants to be?
possibly. Uh, Anyway, so this game was designed to the Galax for impression studies. So over to him for those details.
So, what are your feelings on Star Fox? And I guess eventually Space Harrier and Space Harrier with a bike. But as far as I played through, after you beat the first level and it shows the map, it shows like 8, 10 levels. I got to about the fourth one, and I did not get a ranking higher than C on any of those because I am not actually particularly good at Star Fox. So
Mm.
yeah, it's a decent Star Fox. You have pretty much the same things. It. You have tap burst fire. Uh, if you charge your shot, you get multi lock on missiles. If you there are bombs that aren't quite as good as like in a lot of things. But they are like in Star Fox. They do a large amount of damage in a certain area, but they can miss. And you have dodge rolls basically left and right. This does not have any kind of all range mode or something. It seems to be aiming more for the original Star Fox mostly, albeit with slightly higher graphics. I mean, with higher graphics, but you still, for example, have 2D pixel art of the characters and stuff. When they have voice lines and things. So yeah, that's mostly what it is. A lot of my issues with this are that I had while playing it are kind of issues with the shooters as a genre, like the thing that you get in a lot of space shooters where you get power-ups throughout the level, and if you restart at a checkpoint, you don't get any of those.
Mm.
So you also do have a limited number of lives per continue. So you can't after you lose to the boss 3 times or so, you have to start back at the beginning of the stage. Also, I think there are certain enemies or enemy formations that always drop power-ups or recovery things, but I was not able to. It's not the same in every stage, and I was not able to memorize them fast enough, I guess. So I was not getting that most of the time. And also, your default lock-on missile thing is 3. You get 3 lock-ons.
Mm-hmm.
And the groups of enemies are usually in 5s, so you have to be better at aiming your non-homing missile things to shoot them down well, usually. Also, by default, you aim by turning. All of the weapons, except for the homing, aim and lock on, I should say, by turning. Your reticle is strictly controlled by your motion, which means you have to keep track of where you are to try to dodge incoming fire and just hazards, and also where you're pointing so that you can like aim at the enemies that you need to kill.
While also not hitting any sort of like buildings or anything like that.
There's not really much in the way of stuff that you can destroy that is bad to destroy, thankfully. That would have made it much harder.
Or I was just like running into them, rather.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, running. Yeah, you have to dodge those too. Again, it's not unusual, but it's stuff that was harder for me. I've never been. I enjoy it okay, but I'm not great at it, and I would have really appreciated a ability to keep going without, even if it's an easy mode, to like see the story without having to restart the stage just because.
Like, this is kind of like if I play Star Fox, I generally play like the virtual console and it lets me have like rewind or save states.
Yeah, that kind of thing would be appreciated.
So I can roll back. Like, I imagine it could have been okay if I had the time to like practice all this back when I was a younger lad with much more time on my hands.
Oh yeah, if you have a lot of time on your hands to get good at it, then I'm sure it's much better than my relatively short amount of playtime experience. So yes, there is also an alternate control mode. You can set it so you can auto fire, in which case you can push the button to do the lock-on thing, but otherwise you keep firing. There is a mouse aim mode that is not compatible with the controller, which was how I was playing. But you can do mouse and keyboard. So where you drive around with the keyboard and aim with the mouse. People who are more comfortable with mouse and keyboard might be comfortable with that, but I'm not really. And then you lose the analog factor in your steering. Some of the enemies seem maybe a little bit tanky. The bosses have a lot of health, but that's fine. And they do the Star Fox thing where generally at any given time, most of it is not vulnerable to damage. You have to hit specifically the flashy, glowy parts. There is also a boost, but I honestly can't remember. Well, okay, one of my biggest criticisms about this is that if there's a thing that tells you what all the buttons on the controllers do, it was not in controller options. Maybe I should have looked a little harder, but because I can't say there isn't one at all. But like, it's not easily accessible from the pause menu, and I was really hoping because I played this twice because I was going to review it before, but we had to take a break because of Petty's cat. So this is the second time I played it, and I was able to figure out what the bomb button was, but I didn't remember what the boost button was. Not that I would usually want to use it much anyway, but
some of the problem with Steam games is they're putting their control schemes in the official controller configuration in the Steam overlay menu, not even in the game itself.
Maybe. I don't know about that. So yeah, but yeah, generally, I know I've said a lot of things that are complaints, but this does actually seem like a pretty solid emulation of the classic Star Fox playstyle if you enjoy that kind of game.
Oh yeah, like if I had access to this, 15, 20 years ago when I had a lot more time, I could probably have a ball with this.
I mean, you might even just do better at it in first because you're better at shooting than I am.
Fair.
And I would love to know what the Space Harrier thing is about, but apparently I either didn't get that far or didn't do well enough.
I miss Space Harrier. I mean, wait, what?
There is also, and it looks like it's a mode because they're doing some of the same stages with that I was doing with the ship. But yeah, no, it's. I think it. Oh, and the music is actually also quite good, which is important for this kind of game.
I was about to say that's like a genre requirement at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's up in the these demo videos look like they're doing way more damage to bosses than I was. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just bad, or my
Or-
shots were all hitting
Or it's
the
development
missiles and
mode
stuff.
trick thing that some do.
Maybe. Yeah, no, I just noticed that, like, on the Scorpion boss, they were doing way more damage than I was.
Mm.
So yeah, I do think it is a pretty good game. It's not one of my favorites. If you're more into this kind of game, you might like it better than I do. My complaints about basic genre tropes, like, congratulations, you got powered up and made it this far, but then you like died by accident. So pick up from where you left off, only no power ups.
Also, if you die 3 more times or
That
whatever, you're starting the whole stage over.
Yeah, those tropes can please go die.
Or at least give me the option to have a rewind feature.
Yeah, if you want that to be like even if you want that to be like the traditional hard mode, like the traditional mode, and like introduce a casual mode where you don't have to do that,
Mm-hmm.
I would like that a lot better. Because I enjoy the playing the game and shooting things,
Mm-hmm.
but I
And like,
don't
I'm
like
sure people
the
who like score running these type of games, because you can't speedrun it, it's on rails.
right.
So people who like to score run it would love the option to just be able to rewind a section and try to get better at that specific spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
just me.
Adam or Petty, do you guys have anything to say about it?
I think I piped up with most of my stuff.
Yeah, you did. I mostly meant
I'm
Adam,
good.
but
I'm good.
all right. So, what are they charging about this so far? And do you have any idea about whether the price is going to go up if and when it ever actually gets a full release? Because this has been in early access for at least a few months.
Longer than
And
that.
and I think it had been in early access for quite a while.
Release date July 21st, 2022.
Okay, so this has been in early access for 3 years.
Yeah.
Almost to the day.
Yeah. So to answer your first question, the game is currently retailing for $12, $11.99 USD.
Mhm.
So according to the early access notes, what's available now are the first 8 stages plus 6 shorter bonus stages. Full version has over 12 stages planned. The full price will be $15. The concerning part is this was supposed to do the full release last year,
Mm.
and it doesn't have it hasn't been updated in like about a year.
That is concerning.
Yeah.
Well, I think that $12 isn't bad for what's there now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be tragic if you paid $12 for this and then it didn't get updated anymore.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would be nice if they I always feel a little bit awkward if it's recommending a stalled project.
Yeah, at least there is enough here to get enjoyment out of, unlike something where like we hope it gets better. Like there is enough here that you would want to play this.
Yeah, if you're playing it for the play, I think $12 is fine. If you really want to get invested in the story, which there does seem to be a story here, I'm not convinced that they have they have all of the story they want to do in the amount of stages that they have.
Mm.
So yeah, I think I'd still recommend it to, I mean, particularly fans of Star Fox, but also people who think that games like Star Fox are neat.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anything else?
I'm seeing some mentions that there might actually be at least one all range mode stage. Well, if there is, I didn't get to it yet, unfortunately. So yeah, that's, I think, all I have to say, really.
All right. So that'll about do it for Ex-Zodiac. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review The House of Da Vinci 3.